So this needs talked about. As somebody who's been struggling with his health, this needs talked about. I am tired of this crap. I get it. If you're overweight, you don't want being treated badly. Okay. But I am going to tell you that you're unhealthy. I'm going to tell a lot of people, you are unhealthy. Why am I doing this? I'm going to tell you that you're unhealthy. I'm going to look at you and I'm just going to give it to you straight. You're going to get sick. I've already got type 2 diabetes from being overweight. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's not safe. And you should not do it. I'm not going to treat you badly for it. I'm not going to talk down to you. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to do anything like that. I am going to tell you that you're in for a world of hurt. I'm going to tell you from my own experience of being overweight that it's going to make life harder as you get older. Start trying to lose it now. There's no excuse. It's a simple thing. It's as simple as changing your diet and getting out more, moving around. We should not accept obesity. Call it fat acceptance, call it whatever you want. We should not accept it. It should never be accepted. Because it does. It's been proven. It's scientifically accurate. And I see this is a thing, and I know these kind of people, at some point or another, they're going to start denying science, just like Republicans do, just because it suits them. They're going to deny it. I've noticed this. It happens on either side. If it's an inconvenience, they deny it. If it has to do with science and it's an inconvenience, they will deny it. They will become a denier of it. They'll talk down about science. Science is wrong. I see it coming. Give it time. It sucks, but I know it's going to happen. All right, so kind of want to talk about what's brought this on. Basically, this woman who in Hollywood, the headline is basically, "Meet the woman fighting against fat shaming in Hollywood." Model turned to actress Barbie Ferreira is changing the way Hollywood thinks about inclusion. Barbie Ferreira is changing the way Hollywood thinks about inclusion through her roles in a bunch of shows. Bunch of stuff on HBO Max. The model turned actress has had terrible experiences in her career. Here's the problem. People are so sensitive that telling them that they're unhealthy and trying to encourage them to do better and be better will offend them. And they will look at you and they will call it fat shaming. They will call it shaming them for being fat. This is how those groups of people act. See, this is why I try to explain people. Alright, so basically she's talking about she was a plus-size model. Most of her friends looked like her. Soft, fleshy, bountiful. Are these the words we're using now? She was part of a group text chain, the Fat Agenda, whose members labeled themselves as the, quote, fat in fashion. As a teenager, she hated the word fat. I don't think anybody likes the word fat. To be clear, the word that you should use is obese. Obesity. It's bad. It's not good. To be fair, when you look at certain compounds that are good for you, most fats, well, some fats, I should say. There's some fats that are good for you. They're called fats. And they don't make you fat. That's the thing that people don't understand. They think consuming fat makes you fat. It doesn't. It doesn't make you obese. In my experience, it doesn't. When I was losing weight, all I had to do was cut out carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your enemy. Sugars, sweets, pastas, grains, rice. You want to either completely eliminate it or reduce it to a moderate amount, just a tiny bit. You don't want to eat much of it. One of the two. I was losing weight. So I'm at my wit's end, because let's look at it this way. I want you to look at this. You see this? You see this belly? This is not okay. This is not fine. This is not good. It's because of this that I have type 2 diabetes. That's what's wrong with people, is they're sensitive. That's what it is. They're sensitive. And they don't seem to understand that they need to cut the crap. They need to move around more. They need to do right. It doesn't take much. I was doing it for a while. But let me explain, though. My brother moved in with me. When he moved in with me, I stopped getting to sleep and getting to bed like I needed to. When that happened, I started eating more. Basically, your body creates a hormone when you're not getting enough sleep, and that hormone makes you hungry. So you get really hungry when you don't sleep. It's basically a way of getting energy to your body. And if you're not eating foods that it's going to give you energy, the actual stuff that you actually need, you start ingesting a lot of carbs, you're going to gain weight. That's what's happened to me. I have a brother who is introducing into my home things that I can't resist the temptation of. It is temptation. He's brought it into the home before. I've gone back to eating things I shouldn't eat. I, at one point, got down to 33 pounds, something like that. At one point in my life, I was doing so good until my brother moved back in with me. I desperately want to get him into his own place or get me moved out of here, one of the two. I desperately am tired of this. I want to live alone, self-sufficient. That's what my mom says. You need to learn to be self-sufficient. I need to be that way. I need to take care of myself. I need to be alone and handle my own things. But back to this. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to be overweight. It's not okay to have this in your body. It causes a series of problems, basically. It causes diabetes. It causes heart issues. I don't know if I've had that yet, but it's a possibility that could kick in eventually. You don't want to be overweight. These people aren't going to live very long lives if they're too overweight. I might not live that long. And it makes me miserable to even think about it. I'm now 40 years old. I had my 40th birthday, the 30th of August, last month. Didn't do anything, but this isn't okay. It's not okay. And here's the thing. People are so sensitive that when you tell them, if you just say, look, if you just come to them concerned and say, I'm worried and I feel that you need to lose weight, you're going to get sick. You're going to get diabetes. You could get this, that, and the other. And I don't want anything to happen to you. If you show even just that you're concerned, they will say you're fat shaming. Why? Because they're uncomfortable with it. They want to just be as they are, and they want the rest of the world to change for them. No! I don't want the rest of the world to change for me. I'm not going to change it and make this okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is not good. I don't like it, and I don't want it. And I plan to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. It's been difficult. If I can get my brother out of this house and get to where I'm living alone again, I can get back on a regimen, a schedule, and get everything in order. But that's not going to happen with him living with me. He's not like me. He doesn't have my health problems, so he brings in things I shouldn't have. There is a big giant bag of Fruity Pebbles. Well, not Fruity Pebbles. The Malto Meal brand, I guess. I don't know how to say it. It's a different brand. It's a big bag. But he bought a great big bag of Temptation, basically Fruity Pebbles, and it's sitting in there. And I can't tell you how hard it is to resist that. It is hard. It's not easy. It's hard for me on a mental, psychological level. It's not hard physically, but that's where you have to use your physical abilities to overcome your emotional disabilities. I can walk. I have 2 legs. I walk away from it. That's what I've been trying to do. I've been walking away from so much. Oh my God. But for this person to sit here and say that this, just to make these claims, this is kind of a big thing, and I don't want to read all of it, but the gist of it is, it's another person saying this is okay. It's another person that just wants people to want her like she is. To be fair, she's not that overweight. Not really. She's thick. She's not massively obese. She's not. I hope she doesn't let it get out of hand. For any of you out there in the world who let this get out of hand, pardon me a moment. For any of you out there who let this get out of hand and get so big that you can hardly move, and then expect somebody in the world to want you, to want to have a relationship with you, it's not an easy thing. That's part. I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason I don't have anybody. Part of the reason I haven't found a woman I want to be with or anything, because when they look at a guy like me, this isn't attractive. The fun part is it's not attractive to women like her. Women like this person. I can guarantee you Barbie Ferreira would see a guy like me and not be into me. I'm just saying. She would look at me and say I was unattractive. I know I have a beard right now. Some people don't like beards. It's not the point. Okay? She would look at a guy like me, and one of two things would happen probably, and this has been my experience with a lot of women. A lot of women who aren't skinny, who are obese, or who are getting big, and it's something that I've noticed, is they want what they can't have. This has been my issue since I was in high school. A lot of women are like this. It's weird. There were times in high school I tried to date a few women, and these advertisements, dear God, this is why I block advertisements. Los Angeles Times, you need to do something. You got too many advertisements. This is why I don't keep with advertisements. At least there's no video popping up in the corner. That would really tick me off. Anyhow, I'm all over the place, aren't I? I didn't want to talk that long about this. It's not okay. Being overweight is not okay. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. You're not going to live a very long, productive life. That's the other thing, productivity. Part of the reason that it's so hard for me to focus and concentrate on things, and it's not like this for everyone, but for me, is because I'm overweight, because I'm unhealthy, because I'm not eating right. It affects your brain. Your body will affect your brain. If your body is not up to task, your brain will not be up to task. That is what I've noticed for myself. That's why I start things, I have ideas, and I don't get going, and I don't finish. That's part of it. Part of it is also it makes depression worse. It makes anxiety disorders worse. It makes everything worse. Again, your body affects your mind. If your body is not in good shape, your mind is not good in shape. And that's how it's been affecting me, personally. People need to stop being so sensitive. That's the biggest problem with society right now, is we have a ton of people who are severely sensitive. Like, they are majorly sensitive. And that's the problem. And they don't want to change. They want the rest of the world to change. It doesn't work that way. It should never work that way. Now, do I agree that we need to not talk down to people who are overweight? Absolutely. We shouldn't talk badly. Shouldn't curse at them. Shouldn't call them names. Shouldn't demean them. We shouldn't do any of that. We shouldn't do that to a person. That doesn't mean that we can't try and persuade and encourage them to be a better person. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but I just mean improved. When I say improved, I don't mean that you're bad or evil and I'm trying to make you good. I'm not saying that what you're doing is necessarily bad, just unhealthy, and it's not great for you. It's not good for me. Like I said, I don't like this. I hate this. I hate it so much. No, we shouldn't accept it. We shouldn't accept it. Sorry. I'm not going to accept it. Ever. I'm not going to accept being fat. Why do we even call it fat acceptance? Why do we call it that? You're still using the word fat like it's okay. Maybe stop using it. I'm pretty sure because if they called it obesity acceptance, it'd be a little harder to argue with. Be a little harder to make arguments. I'm tired of this. I don't want it anymore. I don't want this world like this anymore. It seems as though we've raised a generation of whiny, yuppie idiots who can't handle the world. They can't handle how the world actually is. So instead, they're pushing and pushing to try and change the rest of the world change the rest of society, change other human beings. Now, I'll admit, I don't think a little thickness looks bad on people. But when you have people who are so big that they can't move, that they have such a big belly on them, like mine is not attractive. This isn't attractive. It's not okay, it's not attractive, and I'm going to work my damnedest to change it. Would I have an issue if people called me something like a fat ass, or a fat piece of crap, or an overweight idiot, or anything? Just talk down to me, curse at me, treat me like crap for it. I'd have a huge issue with that, as anyone should. But if somebody came to me and said, look, I'm really worried about you. Look, it's not okay. We shouldn't encourage this. We shouldn't encourage it. What we should be having, we shouldn't have a fat acceptance movement. We should have I'm not sure what to call it. We should have a tolerance movement of sorts. Something like a tolerance. Something like tolerance. To where you don't treat people badly for it, but you encourage them to do better. For themselves, for their life, for their longevity. I'm hoping eventually I have a kid. And I would like to be here for that kid. If I ever have a kid. I don't think it's going to happen. But if I were to have children, right now, I have family. I have a niece now. My sister just had a baby. So I have a niece. I have a niece and a nephew. I want to be here in case they need me. They're not directly my kids, but I want to be here for that. So I need to get healthier. It can be hard. It can be hard to motivate. It can be hard to motivate yourself. You know, I'm more motivated on the days where I get sleep than the days where I don't. So I think that's all I've got to say really on this subject. It's not okay. I'm not going to accept you encouraging people to be overweight, because that's what it is. It's encouragement to do the wrong thing. We shouldn't encourage that. We shouldn't encourage kids. Kids are going to see this. We shouldn't do it. Like it or not, it's the truth. And if you don't like the truth and you argue it down left and right, that means you're a snowflake. You are a snowflake. You're sensitive. Too sensitive, and you don't want to hear the truth. That simple. This has been The Goof. I'm out.